Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the first Walsall rewind of the 24-25 League Two season with myself, Tom, and Paul, who is joining me as always, as we take a look back at what's been an impressive August for head coach Matt Sadler and his side. We've got 6 league games to look back at all in all, 6 games, sorry, to look back at all in all. And we'll also bring you an update on things from elsewhere at the football club, both on and off the pitch. Paul, with those games, we might as well jump straight into the league opener against Morecambe. Perfect way to start the league, and with a pretty perfect strike from Taylor Allen to get us underway.
Yeah, it was, and a win and a clean sheet. You can't go too wrong with that, can you, against Morecambe on the opening day? And yeah, there's always that bit of optimism going into any season, but I remember sort of the build up to the game was a lot of the questions being put to Matt Sadler pre-match. Then his strikers coming in. That was the two missing pieces of the jigsaw, wasn't it, at that point? So I felt there was a bit of question marks around the squad beforehand from people on the outside, but I think that on the inside everyone was confident and really happy with the team that was put together at that stage, just missing that last piece of the jigsaw. But it was a really solid performance, I thought. I thought the Saddlers were the better team throughout. Morecambe didn't have a sniff, really. I thought that's that solidity and that real cohesion that's been built from last season came again into this season after a good pre-season, and it was a great strike by Taylor Allen in the first half, wasn't it? And to be honest, Walsall probably could have had one or two more, but it was a good performance, a solid performance. Didn't really let Morecambe have anything, and I think it was the perfect way to start the season.
It popped up in the right place at the right time, didn't it? And he let the ball settle on the edge of the box. I think he took a great touch on his chest and didn't, thrash at the chance. It was, he was cool, calm and collected on the edge of the box. And we know what a wand of a left foot he's got. We've seen plenty of his deliveries from last year and into stuff this season that we'll also talk about so far in August. But it was a really good finish from it, wasn't it?
It was. He caught it really well, and like you said, he's got a wand of a left foot, and it's become such a weapon for the Saddlers in so many ways, and it's been amazing watching how he's evolved particularly over the past 12 months. But now he's entering his third season with the Saddlers, but it looks like he's finally found a position that he's made his own, and that left centre back role, he's really established himself there now, and looks like he's just getting better and better, doesn't he? And for him to be playing week in, week out, and becoming a really important member of this squad, it's a challenge and it's a mantle he's taken on, and he's really flourished with it. And for me, he's taken on a lot more responsibilities in the team, taking some set pieces as well and chipping in with goals now. So it's been amazing watching his progress, and long may that continue. And by the way, that new contract's thoroughly deserved as well.
Yeah, absolutely. We go into the game a couple of days after the season opener, the first round of the Carabao Cup. Everybody would love a cup run at this moment in time. We've got one. We'll talk about the second round game a little bit later on in the rewind. But going into Exeter City, you're looking at it and going, it's a team from the division above. It's a chance to pit ourselves against a team from a higher division, as we have done a little bit through pre-season with the different variations of teams that we saw. Had a bit of everything, didn't it? The penalty drama. Saw Jamie Jellis equalise in the last couple of minutes of the game, and then with Josh Gordon missing the penalty in the game, he comes up, steps up for the 5th penalty, the biggest one of all of them in the shootout, and converts it. And what a great moment for him.
Sorry, awful time with that. It was a classic night under the lights at the Poundland Bescot Stadium, wasn't it? There's something special about it, under the lights. Big occasion against a League One side. Again, I thought the Saddlers were the better team on the night. Really took the game to Exeter City and really imposed themselves, and obviously falling behind, but showed that real character, resilience, and that was shown by Josh Gordon in abundance, wasn't it? Penalty saved, quite unlucky, I thought. I don't think it was a particularly bad penalty. Keeper does well, sort of adjust his hands, doesn't he, to get strong hands to it, so credit to him. I know he's quite highly thought of keeper as well, isn't he? But again, Josh and the Saddlers just didn't let that get them down, and I thought thoroughly merited that equaliser from Jamie Jellis, who he had to keep his composure as well to find the back of the net, and it was thoroughly deserved on the night. And again, there were setbacks in the shootout. I think Jack Earing had his missed as well, but then Josh Gordon actually Josh Gordon went straight to Jack as well and consoled him. So I thought that was really really nice moment as well. And everyone was together that night and all behind Josh Gordon as he wanted to take that penalty. He wanted to make amends and he did in abundance, didn't he? It was really cool under pressure, and he found the back of the net and sent us into the second round. And I thought that was a night everyone really came together, didn't they, at the Poundland Bescot Stadium? I thought the fans were incredible. After going a goal down, they were with us. After Josh Gordon missed the penalty, they were with him. They were with us, and I think that really gave the team even more energy. I'm not saying they didn't have energy, but they did. But that impetus, I think, more is the word rather than energy. I think that just gave us that extra 10%, didn't it? And really spurred us on and got us into the second round and set us up at another tie against the League One team.
Yeah, and you're looking always to build right at the start of the season. That buzzword in football, that momentum, that's what you want. And you win the opening game of the season, you keep a clean sheet, you pick up the 3 points, then you get yourself into the second round of the cup, then you go away for the first time in the league, and you're thinking, if we can go there and not lose, it's one of those games where you actually look at it and say, if you've taken 4 points or so from the first 2 games of the season, 4 or 6 points, you're really happy with it. And the Saddlers, what a triumph it was against Swindon. There were a lot of confident people within the coaching staff at that point before the game. Everybody who we spoke to was confident of getting a comfortable result against them, and it was exactly that. Goals from Josh Gordon, Jamil Matt, Taylor Allen getting on the score sheet again, and then Uncle Albert Adoma popping up with a goal, and it was a fantastic away day, wasn't it?
It was incredible, absolutely amazing. Really, really enjoyed it. It was ruthless from the Saddlers. They really smelt blood, and my God, they didn't let up at all. And to be honest, I think if that was 7, I don't think anyone would have batted an eyelid. I think there was more goals in it for the Saddlers. I think Charlie Lakin had 2 or 3 chances at the end at 4-0, which goes so at 4-0 up. It wasn't just a case of let's sit back and just keep the ball. It was let's go for more. Not only that, the desperation to keep a clean sheet from the lads as well. You could see it, and I think they'd have all been devastated if that finished 4-1. They'd have actually probably come off the pitch a bit annoyed if it finished 4-1. So credit to them as well for doing everything they can to get that clean sheet. But onto the game itself, I think before the game we discussed it as well. I think after that penalty in the shootout, we all said I think Josh Gordon's going to score on Saturday. We were confident he was going to score, and then speaking to him after as well, he said that he'd never scored at Swindon as well. So I was really pleased for him to get his goal and from open play, because just before his goal he'd had 2 glorious chances. I think Goldie made a brilliant save, again sort of adjusting his body to make that save, and I was on co-commentary time and I was thinking Josh Gordon must be cursing his luck, because he's doing everything but score at the minute, getting himself into great positions, capitalising on mistakes, and testing goalkeepers, and just whatever he was doing just wasn't coming off. And then finally there was a bit of a mistake from the Swindon defender, wasn't there, and he pounced on it, dispossessed him, charged down on goal, and it's a cool finish through the goalkeeper, and he's off the mark, and the Saddlers were up and running, and they just didn't look back from then, did they? And we've got to say, Jamil Matt's goal, textbook Jamil Matt. Get across into the box with him, he gets himself between the 2 defenders, bullet header, unbelievable delivery from Taylor Allen, that wand of the left foot we've already spoke about, and I'm going to speak about it again now because of his free kick in the second half. He went from the Cannavaro to the Cannot Carlos in that moment. Spotted that area in the corner because he'd said he'd been practicing the free kicks the day before in training, and I spoke to him for an interview in Sadler's Shout, and he sort of said how Albert Domer actually wanted to take it, but he said he could spot the gap on that side, and he felt with his left foot to whip it in that corner he'd be able to find the net, and he was running off celebrating before it actually hit the net. He knew it was going in, so what a strike. It was unbelievable. And then to top it all off, Albert Adoma got his goal to round things off, and Conor Barrett involved with his first assist, having an impact. So there was just so many positives, wasn't there? There's just everyone contributed. The clean sheet, the goals, the fans, 607, sounded like 6,007. It was an unbelievable day, and let's hope for many, many more. I'm sure there will be.
Don't say that. The Swindon
attendance
police will be out in force to get us for that one. But a couple of things from me on that one. Congratulations to obviously Josh on the goal, but also doing the celebration, announcing that him and his partner Hannah will be expecting a baby. I think they're due just before Christmas. So congratulations to them on that. And also, it was the launch of our first media match day over on TikTok. So if you want to go and follow us over on there, we'll have that for every away game that we go to, as well as plenty of other things that are going on at the football club. So make sure you go and follow us over on TikTok. There's like different stuff on there that we don't post on our other social media channels. So make sure you go and follow us there. From that Swindon game, then we go into another away game. This time live on Sky Sports Plus. Away at Tranmere, who've had a good start to the season as well. So, we were anticipating it being, quite a tough game. They had a lot of injuries going into it, and you could see it with the way that they were set up. It was a real 2 blocks of 4 to try and stop the Saddlers getting through, and penalty woes hit us again. Jamil Matt being absolutely hauled to the ground after a couple of minutes in the game, and then himself stepping up to take the penalty. Unfortunately, it wasn't a clean hit, and the goalkeeper makes the save, and that, I think, sort of changed the dynamic of the game, because Tranmere, their fans got behind them then, and the only time they've entered into our box, the ball falls perfectly for Amari Patrick, who via a deflection beats Tommy Simkin, and then that's perfect for them, because they just were able to sit in and protect that 1-goal lead, and they did it well, and it was a real frustrating afternoon for the Saddlers on the day.
Yeah, that's what happened, and yeah, we went into it knowing Tranmere, they had 2 0-0 draws, so they're going to be solid. They're good at keeping clean sheets. Nigel Adkins, very experienced coach, knows how to get the best out of what he's got at his disposal. Did really well last year, to drag them away from danger, and they were comfortable in the end. So I'm confident they'll have a decent season. While they're not pretty on the eye, they're going to grind out results this season. They're going to grind out victories and find ways to win, and I think that's massive in League Two. It's not all about being pretty, playing the best football, or free flowing. It's finding ways to win, however that may be. And I think if the penalty goes in, it's a totally different game, because at some point Tranmere do have to come and try and score a goal, and I think that would have given us areas to exploit their weaknesses. So I think if we go 1-0 up, I wouldn't have been shocked if we go on and get 2 and 3 in that game. And I think it's a different kind of story. But yeah, in terms of their goal, they very, very rarely sort of threatened Tommy Simkin in goal. But at that point, I think a free kick, wasn't it, had gone in. Liam Gordon sort of heads it up, so it's not quite away from danger. And then there's a bit of pinball. It's not quite clear our lines. Eventually comes out to Patrick, takes a shot. I think he takes a deflection as well and finds the net. So, I think Patrick has scored a few against us. So one of them deflected goal, and you're cursing your luck a little bit. But I thought from then on it was all Walsall, wasn't it? In control of the game, dominating possession, switches of play, trying to find an opening. I just think perhaps the final ball wasn't quite there on the day, wasn't it? I don't think we probably look back on that game, probably think we didn't test their goalkeeper as much as we should have done for the amount of possession we had. But something really struck home with me that day, and it was something Matt Sadler said. He said, "I know which dressing room I'd rather be in," and he was absolutely right, because I watched that game and I thought we're still a good team here. I think the fans appreciated the way they clapped us off the pitch as well. Like, we'd gone there, dominated the game, and I think it must be said, Tranmere did sort of resort to, trying to slow the game down. With committing fouls or trying to win fouls. And look, fair play to them. They're finding a way to win the games. They've got that know-how. They've got that now. We've got some experienced lads, the likes of Turnbull, Norman, who we know well, Davies as well at the back. So they know how to win games and frustrate teams, and that's what they did to us. So it's one we'll learn from, finding ways to win. But what Matt Sadler said really struck with me, because, yeah, you're right. I think I agree. I would have rather been in our dressing room still after that game, knowing we're a good team. We stuck to our principles of what we're trying to do, and it's just one we'll learn from. And all in all, frustrating day, but still positive to take.
We won't mention the referee's performance from that one, so we'll move swiftly on with it. And you look to turn your attentions back to cup action at that point, and you think, how can the lads go from the disappointment of the Saturday game against Tranmere and pick themselves up against a Huddersfield Town side who started incredibly brightly in League One? I think there were 4 wins from 4 coming into the second round of the Carabao Cup, and at the time, at 2-0, Josh Caroma and then Josh Ruffles give the visitors that lead, either side of Matthew Pearson being sent off for a tug down on Jack Earing in the first half. You think, it's one of them where it's typical. It becomes more difficult to play against 10 men, and at 2-0 you're thinking a side that's started incredibly well are gonna, be able to manage the game and see it out. But even at 2-0, we were sat in the press box and we were saying we're not out of this at all. Nathan Lowe coming in, a real hot prospect from the Championship with Stoke. And we said there was a confidence about him that, the moment we met him, we knew exactly what he was going to be about. And if he gets chances, he'll get goals. And he got chances on the night. Missed one in the first half, which he would have been kicking himself about. Then the penalty woes hit again as he sees his penalty saved. But he shrugged that off pretty quickly. Got himself 2 goals on the night. Could have easily been a hat-trick. Could have easily been 4. Could have easily been 5. And then Liam Gordon, fantastic positioning from him. Taylor Allen, I think, wins the nod down to him. Gordon, I'm still not 100% sure whether it's actually your goal or not, but it's going down as a Healich own goal, and I think that's what we're going to have to give it, unfortunately. I think Gordon will say otherwise, but what turnaround and what a performance from the Saddlers on the night.
Well, I said that Exeter game, classic night under the lights at the Bescott. Times that by 10 and you've got the Huddersfield game. It was an absolute classic under the lights at the Poundland Bescott Stadium. It literally had everything, didn't it? Goals, red cards, missed penalties, drama, emotions, the lot. Debates about who scored goals. It literally had everything. What a night it was, and yeah, it took us on a journey, didn't it? That game. Again, I thought the Saddlers more than matched Huddersfield. I thought could have gone ahead with that first Nathan Lowe chance where he I think he's trying to fool the goalkeeper, because I think the goalkeeper's expecting him to go across him. And instead Lowe went towards the near post, just ended up dragging it wide. The Saddlers more than matched Huddersfield and were playing well, and the goal came, and I think even Matt Sadler said, fair play, that bit of quality. It was a really good finish from Karoma to give them the lead. But, the Saddlers again showed that resilience, came back fighting, and I thought that red card was coming. I think there was a foul on the near side where we sat in the press box, came out wide, and I think it might have been Lowe who was fouled then as well, and that was only a yellow card. She was going away from goal, so there was a covering man. So when we were getting in behind, those sort of fouls were happening, so you could sort of sense that something like that would happen, and that's what happened. Matty Pearson was the last man, dragged our player down, and it's an easy decision for the referee, wasn't it? So at that point you're thinking, right, let's go and let's go for it and get the penalty. Obviously the curse strikes again, 3 and 3 saved as well. It's not as if one's been blasted over, is it? They've all been on target. It's I've never seen anything like this in my life. So hopefully the next one, whoever takes it, finds the net. But you've got to praise the character of Lowe to, not let his head drop. He's 18 years old. He's making his home debut. You want to, on your home debut, when you're coming in on loan, you want to impress. You want to make a good impression. So I can only imagine what must have been going through his mind after that penalty save. But the finish for his equaliser on the turn as well, it's an excellent finish and a great touch, and he's really composed. And then for his second goal as well, he's calm, and when he's one-on-one with the goalkeeper, and then all of a sudden the whole world's a different place, isn't it? And I think, like you said, Tom, at 2-0 you just felt, get a goal, we're going to win this. Got the goal, and then we were just expecting the floodgates to open. They did, and then Liam Gordon's effort finds its way in via a defender. I mean, I literally sat the next day and I kept pausing, and I thought, you can give it him. The defender doesn't want it, does he? Liam Gordon wants it. It makes sense. Dubious goals pan, whoever you are, if you're watching, just give it him. Come on. It makes sense. But genuinely, after that, I thought it could have been 4-2, 5-2. It wasn't a case that we were hanging on either at 3-2. I thought, if anyone's going to score, it's Walsall, and I think that's a sign of how far the team has come from this time last year to now.
Yeah, definitely. And then you build on what was an incredible night here at the Poundland Bescott Stadium, and you at home again. We know just how good we are at home, and I never feel any danger with teams coming to us. I think we were only playing off the park at less than a handful of times last year here at home. And then when Cheltenham come to town, you think, the side we've not beaten in the league since I think it was 2008. I don't think we've beaten them in the last 7 games in all competitions, and you're looking at it and going, they're a bit of a bogey team. And then you welcome back plenty of former and familiar faces. Michael Flynn in terms of managers for Cheltenham now. You've got the likes of You know, Liam Kinsella, who was here for 18 years, George Miller, who had a really good loan spell here, and then Owen Evans in goal as well. And you're thinking, those people are probably going to come back and haunt us. They always do. And on the day, obviously, George gets his first goal for Cheltenham, but it proved to be nothing more than a consolation. And whilst the afternoon seemed to be a little bit marred by the injuries to Josh Gordon, Liam Gordon and Osher McKenzie, hopefully all of those won't be too, long term in regards to that. Again, the Saddlers just looks comfortable in it. Nathan Lowe coming on as an impact again, getting a goal on his league, well, it's not his league debut, but his home league debut at that point. And then Jamil Mack with the cheekiest of finishes, the back heel through the defender's legs, through Owen Evans' legs, and great work again. I'm sure you'll touch on it, but Connor Barrett really sort of arrived as a Saddlers player in that game.
He was absolutely phenomenal. Phenomenal. Good job I'm not saying that after a few celebratory drinks. Yeah, he was outstanding, wasn't he? I think since the season started, he's really started to show why the Saddlers really wanted to get him in from Fylde, marauding down that right hand side. I think he likes to get the ball in as quickly as possible, doesn't he? He likes to deliver, and that's how we're going to get goals. That good delivering. The two fullbacks we've got in Barrett and Liam Gordon, and Evan as well, and Albert to come in there as well. I think we've got some real weapons out wide, which is great. But yeah, again, I thought it was a comfortable game, like you say, for the Saddlers. Looked in control, and I feel like in all the games we've spoken about, the Saddlers have been the better team, the one in control, the one asking all the questions, and I think most teams, to have two players go off injured in the first half can be quite disruptive, and it felt like the game was a bit stop-start, similar at Tranmere, but for different reasons. So it was a bit stop-start, couldn't really quite get that momentum going, so wasn't really a lot to report on in the first half. And then Liam Gordon goes down towards the end of the first half, comes back out for the second half. I think Matt Sadler alluded to the fact that Liam said, "No, I'm okay. I can carry on." Just a minute in, goes down again, and you're thinking, "Wow, I've got to make another change. We can't make any more subs beyond this." And you're thinking, could this turn into a bit of a disaster? But straight away, Nathan Lowe, like you say, impact sub, gets his goal, gets the Saddlers in front. The place is lifted again, and again, it's the Saddlers who are going for that second goal. And Barrett's cross, and it's a lovely flick from Jamil Matt. It's brilliant.
Not quite textbook, but a great finish from him.
But again, though, cross the ball for him.
Yeah.
And if you put him across the box, that's the man you want in that 6-yard box area. And he scored all types of goals throughout his career. So again, getting the cross into the box, Jamil Matt cheekily finds the net. It's a lovely finish. That's his 10th goal as a Saddlers player as well. I'm sure he'll be the first to admit he probably feels like it's taken him longer than it perhaps should have done, but I think there's context around that. When he signed, there was postponed games, then he was cup-tied, then he gets a shoulder injury, so his first sort of 6 months are really disruptive. Then last season as well, he's working his way to a position where he can start games regularly, and it was in the second half of the season I felt like we saw the best of Jamil Matt, and that's carried through into this season. He's already got 2 goals to his name, so he's had a really good August, and I think he's going to be a massive player for us. And that second goal ultimately won us the game, and it felt like the whole Poundland Bescott Stadium, when George Miller's goal went in, there was no panic from the stands, no panic from the players, stuck to their jobs. And I think, again, you look at it maybe a couple of years ago, the Saddlers end up drawing that game 2-2. It's another sign of how far the team has come.
And I think on the whole it was a really good August for us with the games that we've had in there. I think it was 5 wins out of the 6, all in all competitions. And in those 6 games, we scored 11 goals, which I think is, fantastic for us. 4 at Swindon being probably one of the highlights in that. From those 11, Paul, what will be your goal of the month?
There's 2 that stick out in my mind. I think Taylor Allen's free kick. It was, honestly, as soon as it left his boot, you just knew it was in. He just caught it perfectly. And I absolutely love Jammer's goal on the weekend. I love that little cheeky back heel. It was cute, and obviously as well because of Connor Barrett's work as well. 2 assists, by the way, the other day. I've really been impressed with him. So those are the 2, but I think I've got to give it to Taylor Allen for the free kick.
Well, I've got written down both of those goals as well. So because you've gone for Taylor Allen, I'll go for Jamil Matt. But those are our choices. We'll pluck together 4 of those 11. We'll pop them out on our social media channels, and it now allows you guys as the viewers and the Saddlers fans to go and vote for yours. So make sure you head over to our social media pages to get your vote in, and after a couple of days we'll announce who's won the Goal of the Month competition for August. Moving into things elsewhere at the football club, our conference and events team have some brilliant nights coming up here at the Poundland Bescott Stadium, starting with the Jerseys, who are the #1 Frankie Valli and the Four Seasons tribute act. Tickets are still on sale for this great night, and it's on Saturday the 14th of September, straight after our game against Bradford City here at the Poundland Bescott Stadium. So if you do want to come and enjoy that night, make sure you get in touch with our conference and events team. They'll be able to help you out further for that one. In the commercial department, we would once again like to extend our thanks to our sponsors, S&S Steelstock, Pallet Track, Experienced Energy Solutions, Ray Gray Snacks and Howard Evans Roofing and Cladding for their support whilst we were on our pre-season tour of Ireland. It was great to have you there with us. It was great to have you all in attendance for the Walsall Rewind, the Ireland edition out there. Thanks to everybody else who came out to support that one. It was a fantastic occasion. So again, the commercial department just extending their thanks to those guys that came over. We also have had 2 exciting new partnerships at the club, with Food Hub joining us as our official food ordering technology partners, and Pallet Track becoming official stand sponsors. So welcome to the club, guys. In the club shop, you may notice the players on Saturday against Cheltenham wearing some brand new Nofo Bruco t-shirts at the game. They were sporting the grey and pink ones. Myself and Paul are sporting the new ones today. Paul's in the tan version, I'm in the white version. There's plenty of detail on the back as well of those. Those are available in store and online now, so make sure you go and head over to the store or online to get yours. And remember to tap into your adventurous side, so make sure you go and get them. Paul, that's everything else away from matters on the pitch. You've now got an update for us on our academy and the women's team.
Yeah, that's right. So obviously their season started in line with the first team, so they also kicked off on the 10th of August. They've had a bit of a tough start, the under-18s. Started with a 2-0 defeat to Blackpool. Those were then followed by 3-0 defeats to Bolton and Swindon. However, they did end August on a positive note with a 3-1 victory over Bradford City at home. Goal from Paul McAvoy and Marley Roberts. There was also a goal from Charlie Ragg. As you'll all know, Charlie Ragg is out on loan with Bromsgrove Sporting, who are a Step 3 team, and he's already scored a couple of goals for them. He's absolutely flying there. However, in the terms of his loan, as it's a work experience loan, he can also represent our under-18s team. So he was able to play on Saturday, and he got himself a goal as well. Shock. With the form he's in. So great victory for the under-18s. I spoke to Ryan Simmons as well, so there'll be a piece on our website soon. With his thoughts on the game and how Charlie Ragg and how players going out on loan from the second years of under-18s, how beneficial that's going to be for them in the long run. So keep an eye out for that. There is a match report on saddlers.co.uk as well from the Bradford game if you want to read more about how that game went. So well done to the under-18s on that victory. In terms of the women, their pre-season's now pretty much done, and on the 1st of September they did kick off their campaign with an FA Cup match, so we'll talk more about that in the next rewind. But in terms of pre-season, one of the standout games was a 4-3 victory over a good Knoll side, one of a really strong team, Knoll. Amelie Dennis and Chloe Astle both got 2 goals each in that one in an entertaining game. So we'd like to wish Walsall women all the best for the season ahead, and we'll have more updates from their games as and when they happen on saddlers.co.uk.
You mentioned Charlie Ragg in that little update there, Paul. How important is it for him to have gone out and got men's football? He's obviously been around the first team. He came out on pre-season tour with us. But to continue his development, if he wasn't going to get the minutes within the first team under Matt Sadler, 18s football can sometimes be great, but it doesn't allow you to grow as a player and as a person, a young man at that point. He will really benefit from going out on loan, won't he?
100%. As a second-year scholar, you're going to get to the point where, this is, well, for all second-year scholars, there's a point, I think, in a few months' time where decisions will need to be made, whether they'll be offered professional contracts. And if all that these players have played is under-18s football, how do you know how ready they are for men's football when they make the step up to potentially League Two or elsewhere? So they all need that exposure. So he's been exposed to men's football now, being in a men's dressing room, with a senior manager, and the environment, and playing in front. I think playing in front of crowds as well. So he'll be playing, in front of 300-400 people. As under-18s games, you're just playing in front of coaches and sort of friends and family. So learning that pressure of playing in front of a crowd will be massive for him. He seems to be feeding off it and doing really well at step 3. So, we'll monitor how he's progressing. But I think the loans are massive. And I think Ryan and Rob both sort of reiterate this point and sort of, get that wider context out to us that, all right, if the under-18s aren't winning games, if a lot of them are out on loan, yes, it weakens the 18s, but they're getting that exposure and getting themselves in a position to be ready for men's football if called upon in Sky Bet League 2.
Exactly that, and it's been, like we've just said, a great August for us. Moving into September, 7 games coming up in September. It's another busy month for the Saddlers, as it always seems to be at League 2 level, particularly if you're doing well in the different cup competitions. We start off September with a trip to St Andrews at Knighthead Park as we take on Birmingham City in the Bristol Street Motors Trophy. We've also got Fulham under-21s in the same competition later on in September. That's all, around league fixtures against MK Dons, Bradford, Salford, Colchester. They're there. And then the big one that everyone's probably most looking forward to, date not confirmed as we sit here today, but looking like it'll be at the back end of the month, with Premier League side Leicester City in the 3rd round of the Carabao Cup. And that's the one that everyone is looking to, but it's a little bit way off. But if you can continue this kind of momentum, this kind of form going into it, it's the Cup. Anything can happen.
That's it, and Matt Sadler said it after the game on Saturday. It's game after game, but we love that. And that's what we want, especially when, like you say, when we want to carry on this momentum. We go into a new competition. I think we've got 2 Bristol Street Motors Trophy games, so September could really stamp our authority on that competition and put ourselves in a really good position in the group. And we've got some really tough league games. I think September will give us a really good yardstick actually as to where the team is at heading into the winter. Can we get ourselves in a good position in the league? Because by the end of September, the league just not fully settles down, but you start to get an idea of who's going to be fighting for what, perhaps this season. So I think September, like I said, will give us a really good yardstick to see where the team's at. And you mentioned that Leicester game. It was great that we pulled out Premier League side. I know Matt Sadler, that was his wish, Premier League side at the Poundland Bescot Stadium. He got his wish. I mean, if we're being picky, we'd love the different team. As we played Leicester, it was a fantastic occasion here, wasn't it, in 2023 in the FA Cup. But I'm also looking at actually chance for revenge, because deflected goal from Ian Atcher. I thought the Saddlers played really well that day, deserved a bit more. So can the Saddlers go one better, put in another good performance, and hopefully this time they get their rewards. So fingers crossed for that one. But as soon as the date is confirmed for that one, we'll let you know on our social media channels and saddlers.co.uk.
Yeah, on a final note from me, I just want to wish Tommy Simkin all the best going out on international duty. Hopefully we'll have some pictures and updates from him during his time away. So best of luck to him. It's great to see, albeit as a loanee, but he's our player for the season, going out there and getting the international recognition, and hopefully there'll be many more for him to come and many more for other members of the squad to come. Paul, thanks very much for joining me on the Walsall Rewind for August. Everybody viewing, thank you very much for joining us as well. Let us know down in the comment section and over on our social media pages what would be your goal of the month for August, and also let us know who your player of the month would be. Paul, just before we end, who would your player of the month be for August?
I think it's got to be Taylor Allen. Yeah, Taylor Allen.
Yeah, I think I would totally agree, because of how much he's been influential in the team's performances, the goals, the assist, and just his overall game has been absolutely fantastic. So, like I say, let us know down in the comment section who would be your player of the month for August. Again, thanks everybody for joining us for this first edition of the Walsall Rewind for the 24-25 season, and we'll see you next time.